Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on our mothership station, 12 on Sports Radio. I am one of your favorite hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Whatever. And the man with the other microphone. He is a great American. He is a great patriot. You may know him as
America. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is your boy, Chris America. Sorry, I did my thing wrong. Let me start over. Take two. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy, Chris America, coming to you live this Friday the 11th, 10/11/19. And I don't know what's going on, Loudbeard. I feel a little off.
when you don't even get your introduction right. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong.
Yeah, the mind's
You're
a
definitely
little
off.
clogged up. I think I need to do some like jumping jacks, or maybe do one of those. Remember that game that they were pushing on everybody? It was called like Mind Games or something, and they told you that if you don't play this game, your mind is going to age faster, and you need to keep your mind young by playing this game.
You do need to do that. I think it's called Sudoku.
Nope, I don't do math games. No, it's like an app where they gave you just different mental challenges and stuff to keep your mind right.
Okay. Well,
I think it was
this
called
might
Brain
get-
Games, actually. Now that I think of it. Brain Games.
Yep, Sudoku. So there's a question here that is really going to get your brain wired up right this morning, Chris America. This is what you need to get your brain together. This is coming from Memphis Spence on Twitter. This is a Friday thought that he has. He says, you can't make this stuff up. Which is more ridiculous? So put your thinking cap on, Chris America. Your brain needs to be ready for this.
All right, I do love ridiculousness, too.
You do. Naming your child /electric or naming your business Fraud Guarantee. Which is more ridiculous?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with, though, /electric. Because I'm making a decision for somebody else here. And that person has to live with that for at least 18 years before they can change their name. And by then, the damage is already done. Like, it's through the most important 18 years of having a name is within the first 18, Loudbeard. Once you're beyond 18, most people go like, you might get a couple people that say like, wait, your name is what? And that's the end of it. They're not going to make fun of you, but between the ages of like 5 and 18, maybe even 19, depending on how long it takes you to get through school. And if you have a name like /electric and you're getting picked on all the time, you're probably going to fail a grade or two. So I'm going to go with that one because fraud guaranteed, I could see me selling it as like, I'm not going to fraud you, but if you make money, somebody is. Like, it's going to be guaranteed that you're going to be a victim of fraud, and that's why I'm your guy. But it is a little, you got to over-explain it. So it's a bad name, but at least it's a name for your business. It's something that you have to put up with. It's something you have to explain. Whereas when you name a child, it's ridiculous because you're putting your decision on somebody else. That's why naming a kid was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life.
I'm with you, Chris America, but the problem is I took your answer. I voted on this Twitter poll on Memphis Spence's Twitter page, and we're in the minority. People were picking that fraud guarantee. Can you believe it?
You know what? I can believe it because I see all these kids out here at my son's school and other people's schools with all these ridiculous names. So I can see how people just all just willy-nilly naming their kids without putting any thought into their son or daughter and what their experiences are going to be. I almost made fun of a kid's name in front of a kid's parent at the old open house. Caught myself though because I was like, I probably shouldn't make fun of a kid's name. It's probably not a good thing, but it's just sometimes it's instinct, man. It's just instinct when you see a silly name to make fun of it.
Now, can you share what that name was on air, or is that going to make you look even worse?
No, I honestly I can't remember what the name was, and also if I did, I still wouldn't on the off chance that that person listens to our show. Or like today, or maybe in the future, and then like it's just as bad as me making. It's actually worse that I make fun of it on a show where it goes out to thousands upon thousands of listeners all across America. That's a way more embarrassing than just like making a comment and they overhear you make that comment to one person.
I think I can live with that. That's a good way to go about it. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting this brain games to start this early. It's already got my brain in a twist. It's Friday. I'm having trouble putting it together.
Loudbear, do you remember when you named your little one? Did you put a lot of thought process in it? Did you just punt to Mrs. Loudbeard? What was your feelings on naming a child?
Took one of those baby books and then just, took a dart and threw it, and wherever it landed.
There you go. That's probably what I should have done. Now, I took one of those baby books and I just labored over it for months and months. And it's worse than naming a dog because when you name a dog or a cat, you get to kind of hang out with that dog or cat, get to know its personality for a little bit. You get to look at its physical attributes, maybe name him Mittens or Mutt Face. I don't know. But with a kid, you don't get to know any of that stuff. You just got to kind of take a guess. And then somehow a lot of us, we just form our personalities around our name. Like, you probably would not be slamming Monster Energy drinks and punching drywall, but you're a Kyle. So you just kind of grew into that.
Yeah, sometimes your names get associated with these crazy social pop media type things. So, yeah, the name is important. There's a lot in a name, but it's a little bit more than that, right? It's what's behind the name that matters most, what you are as a person. And I think that's more important than what the name is. So those months of you laboring over your baby book and reading every which way of which name is the best name to pick, it's still about being a good person. The name, it's just a name.
I don't know, man. Maybe. I mean, I look at it this way. Chris was a very popular name for kids in the 80s. Like, every parent was just basically naming their kid Chris or Jennifer. That was the 80s Jaden and Aiden type deal. And there were a lot of Chris's who were just total DBs. And I've had so many people say, oh, you're not like the other Chris's. Or maybe they have been. They're like, oh, you're a total DB just like normal Chris's. And I don't know. That's just the way I've always done as a Chris. I knew one guy who went by Topher because his name was Christopher. And I was like, okay, I guess that's one way to do it.
Like that guy from the 70s show.
Yeah. Like Topher. But I think that was his real name. But maybe that's how he saw it, too. He's tired of going by Chris, tired of everybody. Every time he's at the mall, he'll hear somebody yell Chris, and 15 of them turn around. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go by Topher from now on.
Yep. And I like how those popular names, they always just added a "ifer" on the end of it. It's like, oh, Jennifer, Christopher. Just throw a "ifer" on the end, and that makes it a little bit more exotic.
By the way, when you just did that, you sounded like E.T. on the ride. When you have to give your name, and at the end, he's like, Jennifer, Christopher.
That's perfect. You know what name I associate DB with? Garrett.
Garrett?
You associate Garrett.
Yeah, I don't know many Garretts that are cool. It's kind of like Chad and Tad, right? And Thad?
Yeah, Chad, Tad, Thad, and Chaz all fall in the same category as Garrett. And you know why I feel like Garrett is a DB name
Why is that?
because last night Garrett Cole killed our Tampa Bay Rays, buried them 6 feet under, and we did not have a freaking chance, Chris America.
Yeah, the first inning they opened up hot, and I thought we were going to end up with a Braves result. We almost did. It just took a little bit longer. But I think they opened up with what, 3 runs in the first inning?
Yeah, it was pretty depressing. I didn't get to catch the beginning half of it because I did have volleyball practice for my elite volleyball training squad that I've got together. But I came home, I saw the score, I caught the end of the game, and the most depressing part when that final out, it was a strikeout, and I'm like, like I do at the end of the show every day.
Yeah, and when you're a Rays advocate like we are, you kind of learn to just enjoy the moral victories. The Rays winning 96 games in the AL East and then taking the Astros to a Game 5 in a 5-game series. Hats off to them, man. They did their best. Moral victory. I'm taking it.
Yeah, and you don't ever want to say that it's good not to win at all. But in this case, the Rays, they overachieved expectations. They went far. They gave us a great series. I don't know that we could have asked for much more as fans. I don't know if there was much more that they could have done for us. So I'm with you. Hats off to this Tampa Bay Rays squad. All right, moving on. I guess now I got to jump back on that Nationals bandwagon.
I'm with you, man. Let's do it.
All right, and then Yankees.
I mean,
Astros.
I'll be rooting for the Astros over the Yankees just again so we can get them out of the way.
Yeah,
And that was another part of me that was kind of glad. I was like, okay, Astros are in it. They're a really good baseball team. They have a much better chance of beating the Yankees than our Rays do.
Yeah, I think the Astros have a really great chance of beating the Yankees. Yankees just don't have as deep of pitching as the Astros do. I don't think anybody does, for that matter. But the Astros pitching staff is just phenomenal, and I think that is what's going to carry this team. After watching this series, yeah, the Rays did take them to 5 games, but you could tell the Astros, they had it going on, and they weren't going to let this one slide. And now moving on to the Yankees, I think the Astros win it all. That's what my head says. My heart says the Nationals. I'm just gonna stick with my heart, but my head says that this is the Astros series. They're gonna beat the Yankees, and then they're gonna get to the World Series and gonna win it all. I think the Astros win another championship.
Yeah, we mentioned Clayton Kershaw yesterday being Mr. Regular Season. If there's a Mr. Postseason, a Mr. October for this 5-year span of baseball, it's got to be Altuve, right? The guy hits his 3rd home run in the playoffs, and he's only played 5 games. It's insane how this little guy, I shouldn't call him little. I'm like his height, so I'm gonna say this big man, Altuve.
No, let's call it
He's
what
electric.
it is. It's a little guy, just like you.
All right, whatever. You're not that much taller than me.
All right, we got a tweet coming in. This is a hot question for you. Brain games this morning. Would the Yankees versus the Cardinals be the absolute worst case scenario for baseball fans everywhere? Of course, outside of New York and St. Louis. Everywhere. This is coming from Mike Berlon.
Yes, short answer.
Long answer, yes.
Yeah, nobody wants to see the 2 teams that have the most championships playing for it all. That would be lame.
I agree with that. It's like watching the Patriots get back to the Super Bowl again. Not a lot of fans are clamoring for that to happen outside of New England. But this is the Yankees. They got a following. They're good. They have a chance. But I want the Astros to knock them off. Astros Nationals in the series. Ooh, that's what I want to see right there, Chris America. Come on, give me some Astros and Nationals.
Let me ask our listeners this who are listening in, and you, Loudbeard, since we're doing this. Worst championship game. St. Louis versus Yankees or Cowboys versus Patriots? Go.
I'm going to have to say the Cardinals versus the Yankees. And I'm going to
Is
tell
that
you
because
that.
there's 7 of them? 7 games that you have to deal with it?
No, I've got another reason for you. And I was going to break this down when we got into this Thursday night football game here in the near future, but I think I'm just going to roll into it, Chris America. I'm going off the cuff, and I'm going to explain to you why that would not be a bad thing. And that is because I think I'm coming over to the dark side. I think I've finally gotten over the hump of hating the Patriots so much that now I don't have any hate left in me, Chris America. I don't have not an ounce of hate left in me for the New England Patriots. Last night, Tom Brady passes Peyton Manning for second all-time in passing yards. I was watching that game last night, and when the Giants had the ball, I'm like, this is boring. But when the Patriots have the ball, I mean, what Tom Brady does on the field, it's so amazing. This is what last night, it came to me in an epiphany. I said to myself, this is what I want to see. I want to see Tom Brady ride off on the white horse. I want to see him. I want to see this be his last season. But if and only if one thing happens, Chris America, and I've never seen it happen in my lifetime, and I'm ready for it to happen, the perfect season. I think I would be excited to watch the perfect season.
See, now I'm with you I'm over my hatred towards the Patriots. However, I'd never want to live in a world where Boston fans get to go around and talk about a perfect season all the time. I won't have it, Loudbeard. I won't live in a world like that. You can't put that evil on me, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm going to say that watching the Patriots beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl would be good because it would rip out the hearts of all those Cowboys fans, and I'd be okay for that. And I don't know, I just want to see something great. My team right now is 0-5, so I know they have zero chance, or statistically a 0.0000001% chance of making the Super Bowl. So if my team's not going to make it, what is something extra special that I would want to see? And if there was a perfect season and Tom Brady retired, one, it would be good because then Tom Brady would be out. Because if you have a perfect season, do you really need to come back for another year? Like, you should probably, just call it a career. I don't know why, but for some reason this has intrigued me. If they lose one game throughout the season, all bets are off, and I want Patrick Mahomes to win.
No, I just want Andy. I'd rather see Andy Reid get his first ever Super Bowl. Which, since we're doing this or that today, better, bigger, best regular season guy, Clayton Kershaw or Andy Reid? Go.
Oh, Andy Reid, but Clayton Kershaw's not very far off at all. That's a good one. You see, we got a lot of hot tweets coming in, Chris America. You got your Twitter machine up?
I haven't logged in on the new computer yet, but I do have it on my phone, and I see it vibrating out of control. I know that Scotty just said he's sorry for being late, but he was watching El Camino, which I need to do, Loudbeard. I need to catch that one. And then he said I tuned in too soon because we're talking about loving the Patriots, or not hating them, rather.
Nice. Yeah, so El Camino, I have not watched it yet, but I have watched every episode of Breaking Bad. I'm all caught up. Chris America, you're on season 3, right? And you're still working on it from 5 years ago. I get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like you did with Game of Thrones and every other series ever.
Also, Scott Kaiser says that Yankees versus Cardinals would not be the worst series. We've already seen it. It was Mets versus Yankees. I think I got to kind of agree with him.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way. I'm just trying to make a point. Wouldn't it be special to watch Tom Brady finish out a perfect season? Do you want to see that? Am I just am I crazy?
No, yeah, you're crazy. I don't need to live in a world where Boston fans have that one more thing to be annoying about.
All right. Well, we know Boston is no longer championship town, right? Like, I get the Patriots win a little bit. I get that the Celtics have won a little bit, and the Bruins a little bit. But you know where Championship Town is, right?
No, tell me. Where is Championship Town? Is it here in Orlando?
No, it's not here in Orlando. It's
Sadly, you're right.
It's up in Washington. You got your Nationals. Man, they're on fire. Obviously, an easy route to the World Series, right? They just got to knock out those
Right,
Cardinals.
and isn't that where it ends? Because, I mean, Wizards aren't doing so good.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Redskins
whoa.
aren't doing
whoa,
so good.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second. Did you not watch last night?
No, I do not watch nor pay attention to preseason anything.
No. The 2019 WNBA champion Washington Mystics bringing home another championship to the great.
Oh, yeah. See, I would have known that if our third host, who is our WNBA aficionado, was here, but he's not.
I'm telling you, it's championship town. You know, what do the Capitals do? They like to win. What do the Mystics like to do? They like to win. What do the Washington Redskins like to do? They like to win early draft picks. And that, in my case, is a win. That's what I want. Number 1 overall draft pick, going for it all. Championship town.
That's all right. I kind of concede that. I forgot about that Capitals win 2 years ago. But you're quickly getting away from that, Loudbeard. You need your Nationals to win in order to hold on to that championship town. But speaking of championships, Loudbeard, did you see AEW this week, or did you see who is now a member of AEW?
You know, I did not. I kind of want to watch AEW, but I just haven't. So give me the
Well,
scoop.
I'll give you one more reason to watch AEW, and that is the fact that they finally have their big man, right? WCW, they needed their big man, so they went out and they got Hollywood Hogan. TNA, when they first started out, they needed a big man, so they went out and they got Sting, and they got, I'm trying to think of his name, Kurt Angle. And then they even had Hogan for a little while, but it didn't really work out. So now what does AEW need, right? They can't just have this roster full of no names and good storylines and take on the WWE, right? They need a big fish from the WWE, right?
Yep.
So they're not going to get John Cena because John Cena is completely married to WWE. I don't ever see that relationship ever changing. So the next biggest name that I think is athletically available and is still relevant is one Y2J, Chris Jericho. He made his debut on AEW Loudbeard, and he did a promo where he introduced a new faction that he's forming called the Inner Circle. Not a fan of the name, nor of any of the wrestlers I saw behind him, but I like Chris Jericho, and his promo the other night was tremendous. And then I saw this interview with Chris Jericho, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Chris Jericho said he would have been the top guy of an era. It's just the fact that he came up and he was big right around the same time as Stone Cold and The Rock, and there was no way he was ever going to reach the level that he could have reached had those two guys never existed or had he come up in a different era. And I want to know if you agree with that.
I do agree with that. I think that's a great take because The Rock and Stone Cold, nobody was ever going to live up to what they were doing. That was like a pinnacle of wrestling. And Chris Jericho, yes, he was great, but he was living in a shadow that was far too big for anybody to live up to. Now, would he have been the Hulk Hogan of that time period if there was no Rock or Stone Cold? Could he have been one of these elite top wrestlers like a Ric Flair of his time period? I gotta say yes. I think he could have been. I loved Chris Jericho. You loved Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho had a lot of juice. He just was around during a very difficult time where he was living in the shadows of the two greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, I agree, man. You look at it in sports sometimes. Like if Tom Brady didn't exist, more quarterbacks would have had championships. Maybe Tony Romo would have had a championship. Who knows? Although Tony Romo didn't never made it to the Super Bowl, so Tom Brady never kept Tony Romo from winning it. But you know what I mean? Like, there would have been a lot more. Jake Delhomme might have a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah,
That
but
kinda
Tony
thing.
Romo's got a championship in life because he's doing an amazing job in broadcasting. Just saying.
That's true. So, but with
See,
Chris
I love
Jericho,
the Patriots
man,
and I love former Cowboys. Now this is like backwards day.
yeah. Chris Jericho though has such great charisma, the kind of charisma you need to be a wrestler. It's just, yeah, Stone Cold and The Rock are just that much better than Chris Jericho. As much as I love him, he just didn't have that final it factor. And so if he would have been in an era like John Cena probably would have never been as big as he was if he came up in that era too.
Yeah, I agree with that. John Cena's big, but he's not that guy like those other guys were. And he's big because of the talent around him, because I feel like the talent pool got shallow after that Attitude Era. And so, yeah, I think you're right. I think John Cena, if he was in that same situation as Chris Jericho, he would have not really been anybody at that point.
Yeah, so I think it's a killer move by AEW. I still think Chris Jericho is relevant enough, and he's still young enough. Like, I looked at him on stage, and he looked like he did 20 years ago when he's cutting promos for WWE and WCW. I used to love watching Chris Jericho matches, too. Him and Eddie Guerrero matches, oh, the best. And by the way, we missed it, man. Happy birthday to the late, great Eddie Guerrero 2 days ago. Viva la raza!
There we go. Yeah, Jericho's got such an on-stage presence, too. Like, when he cuts a promo, he's got that certain charisma that I would put up there with a Stone Cold, with a Rock, with a Ric Flair. I mean, these are guys that you always remember when they talk. I mean, to me, Chris Jericho, he's got more of it than most others, and I love it. I absolutely love this move for AEW. And you know what's brewing is this Wednesday night wars between WWE and AEW, and AEW's not backing down. They're not just rolling over and saying, okay, the big dog's gonna hunt. No, they're gonna come out and they're gonna fight for their piece of that pie, and I love it. And you know what, Jericho, he can rule that town, and I'm looking forward to watching the circus.
Yeah, I got to tell you, for me, I think being better on the mic is better than you being good in the ring. Like, some of my favorite wrestlers were really bad wrestlers. Like, Ric Flair wasn't that great of a wrestler, especially when you compare him to, like, today's wrestlers. But, man, him on the mic, it was just electric. Chris Jericho's right up there with it. You hand Chris Jericho a mic, and you know it's about to go down. And Chris Jericho can actually wrestle. He's actually a very, very good wrestler.
Yeah, you're right. Being good on the mic, I think, means more than anything else. Guys like Macho Man, you can remember the Macho Man, you know, even in a Slim Jim commercial.
snip into a Slim Jim.
That's the memorable stuff, right? I mean, that and his amazing flying elbow drop, but those are the things that we remember is how good they are on the microphone. And, you know,
The
it's
old
funny
mouth from the South, Dusty Rhodes.
Yep. And it's funny because some of the guys that are big names weren't always really great on the microphone. Like, I don't look at The Undertaker and say, oh, man, he used to hype up his matches. His was more about his persona and just
His presence, his aura.
Yeah, his was different. I love The Undertaker. He was one of my favorites growing up, but it's the guys that were on the mic that were really hyping it up that made it a good fight, because a lot of times they'd take these big names and put them up against The Undertaker, and that's what made it a great match. So, yeah, I'm with you on that, Chris America. You know what? We're getting close to a commercial break, and on Fridays we usually do our fantasy draft. So why don't you tell our listeners what we have in store for them after this break?
Well, we're talking about wrestling, and we might dip into wrestling to grab a draft pick from it, but I don't want to give that away too much because I don't want to give away my draft strategy to you. But it is the month of October, which is Halloween, and we're sitting there thinking, what can we do? We'd like to try to stay relevant to the time and what's going on in the world. And I thought it's Halloween. People are scared of clowns. It just came out. Antonio Brown is acting like a clown. LeVar Ball is back at it, acting like a clown, telling his son that, he's a broken product for 2 years. And, we're just going to draft some clowns, Loudbeard. We're going to do a famous clown draft pick on the other side of the break. And I'm not going to be funny about it, Loudbeard. I'm going to be serious.
Why so serious? Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
Welcome back. Thank you all for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio. He's Chris America. I'm Loudbeer. We're bringing it to you hot and live like we do each and every morning, Monday through Friday, here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. We also simulcast on the Full Press Radio Network, and we're part of the Barn Burner Radio Network. We're kind of all over the place. We're kind of a big deal. Just a little information out there for all of our listeners. We are taking next week off. Little well-needed vacation time. We're taking a week off. We'll throw that out up on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places, just so everybody's aware. But for now, while we're live on air, you can tweet at us at Scout Team Radio. We got some hot tweets coming in from Mike Berlon, from Scott Kaiser. They're over with Craft Brewed Sports. They put on a great show. And make sure you check them out. They weren't on this Wednesday. That means next Wednesday they're going to be bringing the heat, and I know they will. And I'm sure they got a Cincinnati style coming up here soon, too. Lastly, I do want to say that you don't always have to catch us live. Go download that podcast. It's wherever you find podcasts. You can find it pretty much anywhere. And, I'm tweeting here on the commercial break, and I did send over an inappropriate tweet to Mike Berlon. And I wanted to apologize out there because I found this GIF. It's not pronounced GIF. It's a GIF, and it is of Mr. Rogers putting on a clown mask. And I don't think I was very responsible by sending that out and putting it out on the internet because I may have ruined some people's childhood just because of this one GIF. Mr. Rogers, everybody knows him as that lovable guy, but put a clown mask on him, nightmares start to happen. That is the thing that keeps kids up at night. Just saying. Chris America, do clowns keep you up at night?
No, I was honestly going to ask, what is it about clowns that freak people out? Now, I get the creepy-looking clowns, the clowns that are purposefully made to creep people out, but just a regular old clown? I don't get what's so scary. Like, what's so scary about? I won't say any names. I don't want to give away any big names to you that you may not have on your list. So, what is so scary about a clown?
In all fairness, I don't get scared by clowns, but there are times where clowns can be super creepy. I mean, just some of them, the way the paint is, the way they look, the way they act. I mean, there's some definite creepiness there. And, yeah, I don't know.
Clowns are like a van without windows. If you put, like, some plumber, stickers on it, like Joe's Plumbing with a phone number, maybe a cartoon plumber, it's fine. You take all that off, and you see it drive by a kid's park, and you get a little leery. It's a little creepy, right?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely creepy, especially if a clown's driving it.
With puppies in the back, supposedly.
Well,
all right, Loudbird, are you ready to do this draft?
I am, except I'm going to read this one tweet, and then we're going to go. Weirdly enough, the creepy ones don't bother me or scare me as much as the regular ones. That's Mike Berlon. So the creepy ones creep me out because they're creepy. But the regular ones, I'm just like, they're all right.
Okay. That's interesting. Maybe one episode we should have Mike Berlon on, and we can break down the psyche of Mike Berlon and his clown fears.
Well, the last part here, I didn't even read it. It said, and they'll diddle you if they get a chance. Okay.
There we go. There's our answer right there. I think he just admitted to something without admitting to something.
Oh, no. Come on. Let's diddle this draft up, Chris America.
Just don't, man. All right, well, Loudbeard, we do have to remove one clown out, and it also helps with the theme of why we're doing this, because the Joker movie just came out. You and I decided that the Joker is too good of a pick because our voters can't just vote on a team. They always vote on one player. Joker is that one player where whoever has him, people are going to be like, I didn't even look at the rest of the list. So-and-so picked Joker, and I'm voting for them.
Yep. Yeah, and now you said you were going to go see the Joker see Joker last night. There's no the. Did you get a chance to see it or not yet?
No, my buddy who I was supposed to go with, he ended up having a really long day at work, and so we couldn't make it happen, and so I just went to the gym instead.
Yeah, I'm going to try to catch it this week as if I can, because I'm really excited about it. I just haven't gotten to the theater yet. And so I was just hoping to get a little recommendation from you on your thoughts on it. But I'll wait for that. It'll come. It'll come.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Gemini tonight with my son. I figured that's a little bit more 11-year-old appropriate than the Joker. I've heard the Joker is too dark for kids.
Oh, yeah. That's probably a good thing. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll start him off with Requiem for a Dream first, and then we'll watch the Joker. Really just start off high in the darkness, and then that way he's numb to the Joker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. You're working it up.
All right, let's do this draft. Who's got the first pick? Do you have it or do I have it?
No, I think you should go.
All right. Well, I don't think he's nowhere near as big as the Joker, but I do think he's one of the best clowns, especially since they brought the movie back. He is probably the top creepiest clown. And so I'm going to go with Pennywise.
Okay, like the band.
Yeah, the band, Pennywise.
There you go. That's a good choice. I like it. That's a good choice for you. I think that's a safe choice, Chris America. You just said you're going to take this all serious and stuff. So, yeah. Good job. I'm good with that. All right, so you're going Pennywise. That leaves a lot of good clowns on the board for me. And I'm thinking this through out loud.
Yeah,
Where
I'm not
do
gonna
I
clown
want to
around
go?
on this draft here, Loudbeard.
No, I don't want to clown around on this. You know what? I'm gonna go with my favorite wrestler from the '90s. I'm doing it. You teased it a little bit before the break, but I'm gonna tell you a little story about my childhood. There was this Wendy's that we used to frequent when I was in high school, and the manager of that Wendy's, he says and he claimed that he was one of the Doink the Clowns. And I would see him at independent wrestling shows as a referee, and then he would do different things. And that guy, he swore up and down, left and right, that he was one of the Doinks. So I knew intimately from frequenting the Wendy's in my hometown, Doink the Clown. And so since then, I've forever been indebted. Plus, he was a really great wrestler, and I love the fact that there was 8,000 Doinks running around WWE. And if AEW wants to be successful, bring back Doink. Bring back Doink. You hear me, Chris America? Bring him back.
And you know what? Doink the Clown is that wrestler that you can claim that you were him, even if you weren't, because there's really no way to confirm it. As long as you don't even need the same body type, because even if you're fat, you could be like, yeah, I let myself go. And if you're skinny, you'd be like, yeah, I just cut a lot of weight. You just got to be the right height, really, to be Doink the Clown, or one of the Doink the Clowns.
Yeah, it's true. He fit the mold, though. You don't have to be ripped. You just have to be there.
All right, Loudbeard. I'm gonna go into to another really famous clown to show that I'm taking this serious, and it's actually suspect number one as to who ruined clowns for Mike Berlon as a child, and I'm gonna go with the old Ronald McDonald. I can see where Ronald McDonald can be creepy and scary. Not like murder you scary, but maybe, do that kind of thing. Just because he's so tall and he's a little too happy of a clown. Always so happy, pushing those Happy Meals. Don't trust it, Loudbeard. Can't do it.
Oh, so I went from the Wendy's manager, and you went with the McDonald's manager. I see where we're going. We got a theme going on here. We're going fast food. Well, my next pick, I feel like he once worked in fast food. I can't tell for sure, but going back to the 90s, lots of good clowns coming from the 90s. My favorite sketch comedy at that time was In Living Color. Lots of greatness that came out of that show. And my boy, Homie the Clown, was one of my favorite clowns, and he had just done such an amazing job. Comedic gold. Homie the Clown. Homie, don't play this, Chris America.
Oh, man. Homie the Clown is the jam. And now, Scott Kaiser, he's doing this to us, Loudbird. He does this all the time where he makes me feel inferior, but I'm not going to allow him to do this. I'm not going to allow him to get in my head. He says, see, the Chris America thinks the Joker is the clown that will sway all the votes, but honestly, there's one clown and one clown only that if he doesn't get taken, you've both failed, and he's currently still available at Scout Team Radio. Now that's going to make me question my draft. Make me question who I am as a person, because that's what Scotty Kaiser does. He makes me question who I am as a person when we do these drafts. And we always lose to our listeners, Loudbeard. We always do.
We do. Okay. Let's see if you can make it happen with your third pick in your clown draft.
And now I'm sitting here thinking about all the clowns, and I just can't think of one who's bigger than the Joker. So I'm going to stick to my guns. And you know what? You know why this clown, I think, is the biggest of our generation, Loudbeard? This clown right here, I believe, is the sole reason why kids of our generation grew up, went to college, and loved beer pong, because they sat there every Saturday morning or every weekday whenever I don't even remember when this show came on. It just did. It was on WGN, I believe, for me. And that is Bozo the Clown. And everybody watched Bozo the Clown, wanted to play that damn bucket game with the ping pong balls because we all thought we could do it better than the kids on the show. And then we all grew up, went to college, and we basically played the bucket game from Bozo the Clown with beer pong to show everybody that had we been on Bozo the Clown, we would have gotten a ton of prizes. And instead, we just drank a ton of like Natty Lights and Ice House and PBRs.
Nice. I like your theory there. We do love a little bit of that bucket game. That's the memorable part of that whole show, isn't it? Like that was the highlight of it.
I don't remember anything else from that show but the bucket show, and I am 1,000,000% convinced that is a scientific fact that our generation, the Zennials, as you will, we love beer pong because of Bozo the Clown.
All right. Well, you stole a man from my family. I've got Doink the Clown. I've got Homie the Clown. And then you stole Bozo the Clown. The Clown family is my family. And I'm going to go with another member of my family. And that is going to be a clown that may be a little bit more animated than some of these other clowns. But everybody in the world knows this guy. That's right. Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. One of the best clowns of all times.
Hey, hey, hey. No, that was more of a Fat Albert.
Try it again. Try it again. Let's do it better this time.
Hey, 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 hey. Nope.
Nope, not even close. Nope. One more time for the gold.
Hey, 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 hey. All right, that was a little bit
much
better.
That was close.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
I'm
Yeah,
getting there. I got to
at that.
work on it. Yeah, Krusty. My favorite episode was when Krusty was framed for murdering or robbing a store or something like that. Oh, that was a good one. And then Lisa and Bart had to break down the shoe size and everything. It was great. It was a good episode.
Sorry, Chris America. Hold on one second. You carry it for just 30
Well, I
seconds.
do love that Krusty the Clown groans like we do at the end of the show. He's like, ah. And he was just like really a miserable, drunk, hates his job type clown. And then he gets on stage. And then the feud between him and Sideshow Bob, and that turned into a feud between Sideshow Bob and Bart. Those are good times for The Simpsons. Still don't watch it, though. Just can't bring myself around to it. Every
But it's
Halloween,
never
though,
been
Loudbeard, I
canceled.
do.
never been canceled.
Every
It's on
Halloween, though,
forever.
Loudbeard, I do sit there and I get nostalgic. And I'm like, maybe I'll watch the Treehouse of Horrors episode this year. And then, again, I just never do.
There you go. So that was the one that Scott Kaiser was talking about. Just saying. I nailed
Krusty
it.
the Clown?
Yeah.
No. Bigger than Joker. Get out. Now I take back everything I said about Scott Kaiser. Your opinion's trash.
So I
would have
disagree
not
with
felt
you.
bad at all if we left Krusty the Clown off of this list.
What? But come on, Krusty the Clown is one of the most famous clowns of all time.
All right, well, Loudbeard, I mentioned this name as one of the examples of the outer clown realm, but he's still a clown. And I'm going to go with the one, LeVar Ball. Got to do it, man. You got to pull the trigger on LeVar Ball. You left him hanging out there. By far one of the biggest clowns we've ever seen in sports and in entertainment. I'm going LeVar Ball.
Okay. I think I can dig that one. He definitely is deserving of the title. And I'm going with it. All right. So this next one, he's not in the same family. He's not the clown. But he is a clown. And I'm going to go into a genre that I am very fond of, and that is the kind of that horror, gory, kill 'em all, eat their faces off genre. Have you ever seen those kind of movies where it's just ridiculous? And usually they're directed by Rob Zombie.
No, Loudbeard, are you going to do it? This is going to be my fifth pick. Go ahead.
Captain Spaulding, one of my favorite clowns of all time, is my fourth pick in this draft. Sorry, sir. I took it.
Wait, what is Captain Spaulding from?
The Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, okay. Good. That leaves my fifth pick on the board, and it's going to be a whole team of clowns, Loudbeard, because there wasn't just one name. I don't even think they had names. So I'm just going to go with the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
See, they were more of like a B-rated. They were funny, but
Yep.
they were trying to be serious.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Great horror movie of the 80s.
All right, you were just making sure Captain Spaulding wasn't one of the killer clowns, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I thought that's what it was. That's why you're like you mentioned Rob Zombie, and I was like, wait, what? Oh, maybe Rob Zombie was in that movie.
Yep.
Because
No.
I think it's Rob Zombie was a producer of Pee Wee's Playhouse. I'm pretty sure that's who I'm thinking of. But there was it was Rob Zombie who was a producer of Pee Wee's Playhouse.
I gotcha. So now I'm left with a lot of options, but none of them are really stellar options. I'm running out of choices here, but I think I'm going to go with a historical clown, one that put clowns on the map in a bad way. One of the reasons why a guy like Mike Berlin might hate clowns and think that they're terrible and they're scary. The original killer clown, he's not from outer space. He was from right here on planet Earth. He went by Pogo the Clown. That was the serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, as Pogo the Clown.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. That's even scarier than Pennywise because he was a real thing.
Yeah, that is creepy. Ooh, not good. Not good in either way. Wow. This was a good choice for drafts, Chris and Mary. I got to give you the credit where credit is due. You picked this one, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed this topic. Killer clowns. I love it.
Yeah, it came to me yesterday. I don't even know what sparked it. I think it was Antonio Brown being a clown. And then I was like, oh, that would be a good topic. And then I meant to text you, and then it's like, you never do. So I texted you like 5 minutes for the show. So good job being all prepped up, ready to go with your clown picks. It was definitely one of those drafts where I gave you the topic, and I'm sure you were like, how many clowns can there be? And then you look at your list, and you're like, oh, yeah, there are a bunch of famous clowns.
Yeah, and just to throw out a couple of my honorable mentions, there was Twisty the Clown, which was this creepy clown from American Horror Story Freak Show season. But I didn't think that many people would have known that one. I don't think that would have really, gotten people excited. Yucko the Clown was from Howard Stern's show. He had appearances from Yucko the Clown.
Okay.
And
Does that Saw character count as a clown?
Well, yeah, I guess he could have. I should have thought about that one. He's more of a puppet, though.
Yeah, he looks like a mix between a dummy and a clown.
Who you calling a dummy? Dummy? Doink the Clown had a little friend. I should have included him. Dink the Clown. Everybody loved Dink.
Oh, good old Dink. Nothing like bringing midgets into wrestling, and Hornswoggle was by far the best.
And then I could have gone back, and I mean, these are questionable as far as clowns go, but like we could have said like Charlie Chaplin. He was kind of clown-esque. Abbott and Costello, early days of clowning.
They were more like mimes, though, weren't they?
Yeah, but
there's
is
a
a
difference
mime a
between
clown?
a mime and a clown.
I feel like mime is in the clown category. Clown is a general umbrella, and mime falls under that.
Okay, so would you go with the mime from Good Idea, Bad Idea on Animaniacs?
I could have. I don't know that it would have really moved the needle, but I could have.
That was one of my favorite segments on Animaniacs. I love that show. I miss it.
Yep. Well, that was all my honorable mentions. Did you have any other clowns you were going to throw out?
I was trying to think of them. I think we covered them all. I felt like there was one missing, but I couldn't think of it. I mean, we did leave off Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I thought about throwing him in there, but I felt like that was going to just bury you, so I wanted to keep it fair.
I feel like I'm going to think of it as soon as the show's over, and then I'm going to forget by our next episode, because we're not going to have another episode until a whole week from now, Loudbeard. A whole, like 9 or 10 days, because you're going on a cruise. Where are you cruising off to, Loudbeard? Where are you and Mrs. Loudbeard celebrating your anniversary of your nuptials?
Well, we got a pretty fantastic voyage ahead of us. We're flying out tomorrow morning. We're flying to Puerto Rico. We're going to stay overnight in San Juan, and then we're cruising out of San Juan, and we're going to hit some of those, Caribbean islands, St. Martin, St. Kitts, the Saints. We're going to go hit up the Saints. And there's several
Oh, when
stops.
the Saints go marching in.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I said that. That song. Drew Brees is going to be there.
So you're going to hit up all the Saints and all the Caribbean. Now, when you said flying, I thought you were going to say you're going to fly into Seattle and take an Alaskan cruise. Now, that is something I want to do.
Yeah, I want to do that too. I think you got to take like 2 weeks for that. I think the Alaskan cruises, aren't they the long ones, or at least 10 days?
Yeah, you got to take a long, because, again, you got to fly to Seattle, and then you got to cruise all the way over to Alaska, which is still, even though you're in Seattle, it's still quite a distance to go.
Yeah, and I've already got, we got my wife's mom watching the kids already, and getting her for 5 days or 6 days is enough, because hopefully she doesn't go crazy with these kids. I don't want to overdo it, so we already pulled it as far as we possibly could with the favors to get the kids watched while we can go and enjoy our paradise.
That's cool, man. Well, gonna miss you. Gonna miss the show, but I think we need it. I think we need a little recharge when we come back. Hopefully your Nationals are NLCS champions.
They're going to win the World Series by then. I don't know how that mathematically works, but it's going to happen.
Maybe one day, Loudbeard. You'll get it. I believe in you.